Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. Water has always been a problem for ag producers in our state, and the concerns for water supply have come into question in the recent years. A few weeks ago, Farm Factor reported about the 50-year Water Vision Plan. Today we bring you the outcome of the second draft at the Governor's Conference. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at beyondtheelevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
This segment is brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. Today we have a special episode focusing on the future of water in our state. Take a look. In October of 2013, Governor Brownback issued a call to action to his administration to develop a 50-year water vision plan for the future of Kansas. It is a fact that the Ogallala aquifer is declining faster than it is recharging. At this rate, with no changes in the next 50 years, the Ogallala will be 70% depleted and our reservoirs will be 40% filled with sediment. After the first draft, there were revisions that were brought to the annual Governor's Conference on the Future of Water in Kansas, which was held November 12th through the 13th at the Hilton Garden Inn and Conference Center in Manhattan, Kansas.
I'm Earl Lewis. I'm the Assistant Director at the Kansas Water Office, and we're here at the third annual Governor's Conference on the Water and the Future of Kansas Conference. Today we'll be unveiling the second draft of the Governor's vision for water supply in Kansas and getting feedback. We've got about 650 folks who are going to be here today from all walks of life in Kansas and really are interested in meeting with folks and getting their feedback and comments on things they hear today.
The conference highlighted the latest policy and research development of water issues in Kansas. The conference brings together scientists, water managers, state and federal officials, and citizens who share an interest in Kansas water resources. A large focus was sharing the outcomes of the past year to address the Governor's 2013 call to action to develop a long-term vision for our state's future water supply.
Kansas, I think in general, has a really good water system. We've been very proactive as a state, both on the quantity and the quality side. We've got a very well-established set of laws and regulations and a good, knowledgeable, regulated public that understands how we do things in Kansas and how we interact with our producers, with our citizens. And we've made a lot of progress over the last decade, really, of reducing water use and becoming much more efficient in how we use water, less water waste. And on the water quality side, we've seen some improvements in a number of our streams that are now in better shape than they were, and we're making a lot of progress. Again, primarily working with folks rather than trying to be heavy-handed. The vision, last year at this conference, the governor charged us with going out and developing a vision for water supply in the future of Kansas, and primarily focused on Ogallala in the west and reservoir sedimentation in the east. And we've had the opportunity with a group of us from the Department of Agriculture, from the Kansas Water Office, to go around the state over the last year and talk with more than 10,000 different citizens at over 200 events. And we've gotten a lot of feedback, as you might imagine, on all aspects of water. And so in July we issued or released a first draft for that vision and went around again and got a lot of feedback from folks, a lot of good comments, and we've tried to take those to heart and make some changes to the document. What's being released today is a second draft. We think it's much further along, and we certainly hope folks will see that we've listened to a lot of their comments. Obviously, when you're talking 10,000 folks, it's tough to balance everybody's comments, but we've certainly tried to listen to the ones that we hear the most and make sure that we're representing those comments. This is not the end of the line. Certainly folks can continue to provide comments, review the document, It'll be released today on the Kansas Water Office website, which is www.kwo.org. And you can go online and download that copy and email us, call us, let us know what your comments are, where you think we've hit the mark, or where you think we need to do some more work.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
This segment is brought to you by Central National Bank. Put our ag professionals to work for you.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. Today's episode is all about the 50-year Water Vision Plan. Take a look. In October of 2013, Governor Brownback issued a call to action to his administration to develop a 50-year Water Vision Plan for the future of Kansas. Today, the results of that call can be found at the second draft of the 50-year Water Vision Plan.
A year ago, we started this water visioning process for the state of Kansas. We've had 250 meetings, 12,000 people participating, and then coming up with this document that has a series of phases and action items. Kicking that off here on the implementation phase of it, the intent is to get 75% of the first phase items done within the next year. Key parts of that are going to be a local planning process, where goals are set for the next 50 years on local, regional, actually river basins throughout the state. I believe in local planning, I believe in local control, I believe in the leadership to deal with this. We're seeing some of the early leadership really step up and identify things they need to do to conserve and extend the Ogallala Aquifer, to deal with water need problems down basin from, say, John Redmond Reservoir. So we're seeing the early steps of that. We are going to keep on top of this. As I said when I was running for re-election, one of the top issues I wanted to deal with was water. It's one of our key issues and assets that we've got significant issues we have to wrestle with if we're going to have a bright future and opportunities. And we've identified a number of key areas and action steps, and we'll move those on forward.
There have been problems in the past with federal regulations on water usage with farmers, including ones from the Environmental Protection Agency and other government organizations. The Kansas Water Office and the Brownback administration want to eliminate that and propose that all water usage in the state, both for producers and consumers, be a state-determined issue.
We are going to fight tooth and toenail against federal control of our water. Water is a state and local issue. It's not a federal issue, and we're going to fight. We're going to fight waters of the United States. We're going to fight control by EPA or any other entity to try to control our water. Having said that, then we've got to step up and deal with our water issues. We've got to deal with primarily our water quantity issues. We've got quality issues, but what this document's mostly focused on is quantity. How do we conserve and extend the Ogallala so in 50 years we've got a 50-year horizon here, and the same with our reservoirs, that some of which are silting in.
In the past, issues with the aquifer and reservoirs have been a back burner issue, and state government wants to bring it to the forefront of legislative issues.
You know, it's more acute now. You've got many more people ready to deal with it than in the past. The conversations have been much more intense and focused now than in the past. I've been around a number of these in the past, and there is a level of concern that I don't think's existed like it has in prior efforts. Plus, we've already done several things now. Repealed use it or lose it in the first term. Did the local intensive management areas, the Lehman, got the first one of those launched. It's working. So you've got a model for people on a local groundwater issue of what to do. And so you've got things that have happened that hadn't happened previously. And then I just think the willingness is far greater now than it's been in any time I've observed it in the past.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer. who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Turn to a Central National Bank Ag Professional. You'll be in good company. They'll help you track expense lines, manage variable input costs, assess ground agreements, pick a crop protection plan. These times demand Ag Professionals. Central National Bank. You could profit from what they know. Ag operations run better on Central Time.
Central National Bank, money for life.
Member FDIC in your hometown since 1884.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more. This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. Today's show is all about the 50-year Water Vision Plan at the Governor's Conference in November. Take a look. Last year, Governor Brownback issued a call to action to his administration to develop a 50-year Water Vision Plan for the future of Kansas. After the first draft was made, revisions were brought to the annual Governor's Conference on the Future of Water in Kansas, which was held November 12th through the 13th at the Hilton Garden Inn and Conference Center in Manhattan, Kansas.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't have water, you don't have a future. And that applies to people, it applies to an economy. I mean, we have to secure long-term water resources.
The Brownback administration believes that federal regulations on water usage with farmers, including ones from the Environmental Protection Agency and other government organizations, should be a state-determined issue.
I believe in local control and I believe in the leadership that's here. There was a lot of people that said, okay, you need to do a number of mandatory things. Most of those people said that privately and they didn't put that out. But the way to deal with these issues when you've got such a varied resource, which we do, particularly in the High Plains Aquifer, is you got to get that local control and local buy-in. That's why the first LEMA was a really important thing, for it to happen and for it to be successful and work. So, you know, as I said, we're going to push the change of that LEMA statute to make it more flexible. We're going to push implementation of more LEMAs and a localized planning process by basin, which is a little different configuration. And have, but people within that basin then, they know their groundwater resources and surface water resources. And we're going to push hard to get them to set, okay, what's your objective, what's your goal here in this region given the water resource, and you know what it is. And then we're going to keep on top of that. Water's a tough issue. I mean, as long as I've been around it, it's been a hard issue. And we're starting to make some progress. We need to make more progress on this for future generations.
The Local Enhancement Management Area, or LEMA process, is a central component of the legislation supported by Kansas Governor Sam Brownback in 2012 to reform multiple Kansas water statutes. It allows GMDs to initiate public hearing processes to consider locally developed LEMA proposals aimed at conserving water resources while also meeting local needs.
This amending the LEMA statute, I think, is a key one, really, because we had several attempts to put LEMAs in other areas, and it was either too big, it ran into different problems. I think we need to make that statute more flexible for people to be able to effectively use it. And there were several other things that were mentioned in there as well, but to me, in my way of thinking, that LEMA offers a local control and a way for locals to set their objectives and limit themselves, which is, I think, going to be a key part of this this process, and we're going to watch it closely. It's something I'm going to be very focused on this second term.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan from Doc Talk. If you miss us on Monday morning, you can join us at 6:30 a.m. every Sunday morning on RFD TV. Doc Talk has a national following. We're sure glad that you joined us on Mondays, but if you miss us and you want to catch us out on a Sunday morning, get up at 6:30 a.m. and we'll be right there, RFD TV, 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I'll see you down the road.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
The BQA Tip of the Day, sponsored by Beringer Engelheim Vet Medica, Inc.
Hello folks, I'm Dr. Nels Lindberg with Animal Medical Center and Production Animal Consultation. Today's BQA Tip of the Day has to do with good quality cattle handling, low stress cattle handling, and good quality horsemanship. These are some new cattle here, and when we get new cattle in, we want to focus on several things. We want to focus on cattle acclimation and producing good cattle health. We often want to focus on the drugs and the shots that we can give to produce cattle health, but what we're doing here is more important than those things. We want to acclimate these cattle, spend time in the pen with these cattle each and every day, focusing on individuals, but also the pen as a whole, creating good, positive cattle movement using pressure and release techniques, also doing things like exercise with these cattle. We want to kick them out of the pen, we can take them down the alley, bring them back. We want to just give them something else to think about, stimulate a cough, stimulate positive health. That's our end goal. Thank
you. Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know. How can I help?
How can we help?
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here, now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
This segment is brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. Today's show is all about the 50-year water vision plan. Take a look. The Kansas Livestock Association has had a handle on the 50-year water vision plan. Their plan is to help Kansas producers with their water needs.
Yeah, my name is Mike Beam. I'm on staff of the Kansas Livestock Association, and I've had the opportunity to work with several policy groups within the association to provide input into the administration on this project. So we have a water committee, and we've been working with the Dairy Council and the Feeders Council and others on this whole project. So we had met this summer and provided some input to the Water Office and the administration. And one of the key points we emphasize that for this to really work, it needs to be kind of driven locally, and it needs to have a voluntary incentive-based approach instead of a heavy regulatory approach. So I was pleased to see that two of those were part of the guiding principles that they talked about this morning, to be voluntary incentive-based and have some of these efforts and initiatives driven at the local level.
The livestock side of agriculture water is very important for producers, ranging from cattle and dairy facilities to everyday family use.
Yeah, from the livestock industry sector, the use and availability of water is very critical, and it goes from the everyday stock watering use that farms and ranches have in grazing situations to the cattle feeding facilities and dairy facilities. And gosh, the water is just so critical for those cattle to drink and consume every day. And of course, in those situations, it takes a lot of inputs from feed, be it grain and forage, which in the more arid regions of the state largely comes from irrigation. So it's vital, and the folks that have made investments in these facilities, including family operations who are making plans for the next generation, it's critical that they be able to count long-term on the availability of a good supply of water for their operation.
The second draft is what the KLA is very concerned about with their members.
So now we have what's been called the Draft 2, and we scheduled a policy meeting for next week. So we're anxious to share this information with some of our members and look at that fairly closely, probably talk about it at our convention and annual meeting the first week of December. And I'm sure we'll have some suggestions to make prior to the date in January that was discussed today. So we're very pleased that they're providing another window of opportunity for additional input.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. For more of Farm Factor, or if you want to view this program again, visit us on www.agaminkansas.com, or you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. So have a good day with good luck.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.